First of all, I went to school, both in high school and in university, with a rather large number of Japanese students, particularly in high school, because there were so many of them whose parents had migrated to this country and were living in the rural district on Vashon Island, just across from Seattle, where I was living. So I had a lot of opportunity to view these. I made a lot of friends among the Japanese students, and it raised my interest very greatly. And so when the conference came on in my university years, I became exceedingly interested in it and got involved immediately. But in 1936, two friends of mine, very close friends, Dick Watt and Ken Cox, both were invited, and as a matter of fact, so was I, invited to go to the Japan-America Student Conference. The conference was being held in Japan that year, and I was vitally interested. But unfortunately, I had a job which I had to work at in order to get enough money to go to school the following year. But the conference was being held in this country the next year, and so I did go the next year and became very involved with it there ever after that time. There was a lot of interest on the part of the United States and Japan. The Americans had large numbers of missionaries in Japan in the pre-war years who had aroused a good deal of interest on the part of the U.S., particularly on the west coast of the United States. And so they were very interested in getting a better relationship between the two countries. And it was largely because of the interest of the people who had been missionaries over there, or who because they were students from the West Coast who got a lot more college information and study on the part of what was going on between the two countries that we got started. Japanese students were much more concerned with the possibility of warfare between the United States and Japan than we were. At that time also, the Japanese Army was very active in the Japanese government, and the students were very upset about the Japanese Army attitude. For those reasons, they decided they better do something, since their own government obviously was not going to see if they couldn't do something about getting the Japanese, at least the youth of Japan, involved, and perhaps therefore engage some of the older people. I think the JASC is very durable. I think that they have had to reduce their numbers from 50 to 40, and it has had to drop down, as I say, because of matters of funding it. But the interest in the conference is still pretty intense. But it's gone on pretty well, even up to the present time. I don't see any interest in it waning any.
I'm Neeley from JASC 56 and JASC 57. I heard about JASC from one of my college professors. She's a really strong supporter of JASC, and she kind of chased me around campus until I decided to apply. And then once I did, and I got into the program and I found out how great it was, she saw my enthusiasm, and then she kind of encouraged me to run for the executive committee. So I did run, and then I was elected to the executive committee for the 57th JASC, and I served as chair. There were a lot of memorable programs during the 57th JASC. We had both academic and social programs. Some of that more academic programs we had was an environmental panel, and we got to discuss different things like energy conservation and how universities in Japan are really making strong efforts to conserve energy and not waste. We also got to discuss things like the different opinions and views of Japanese students and American students on things like the Kyoto Protocol. Another interesting program that we actually got to do during the 57th JASC is a paper initiative. And we got current delegates of the 57th JASC, as well as alumni and friends of JASC, to fold 1,000 paper cranes. And we delivered all 1,000 cranes to the Children's Peace Memorial in Hiroshima. I think JASC is an excellent tool for building friendship between Japan and the United States. On one hand, you have just the program at its core, and that's bringing together students from Japan and the United States, putting them together for a month and seeing what happens when it's over. You walk away with a lot of friendships, a lot of memories, and a lot of long-lasting bonds. On the other hand, there's a lot of different levels of JASC in terms of building friendship. There are times when you're being academically challenged together, when you have to listen to one another's presentations and papers, and you get to discuss what kind of things you agree with or disagree with. You have all of the different things that you go through together, like culture shock. And surviving those kind of experiences together really help people bond. Last year we were in Japan, so a lot of the Japanese students got to serve as hosts for the American students. So sometimes when we didn't know what to do, our Japanese counterparts would kind of come in and help us feel comfortable or help explain the different things that we were supposed to do or how to observe certain rules. And it was a challenge for both sides, but in the end, we all walked away with a better experience, a more vibrant experience. I would definitely recommend JASC to others. JASC is a great program to participate in, whether you are the typical profile of a student that would be interested in US-Japan relations or not. I actually had a different background. I did not study Japanese language in school, and I didn't take very many classes about Japan either. But it turns out that I was a good fit for the program.
JASC is unique in that it provides a combination of intense student exchange and academic conference. JASC brings together a group of 70 to 80 students, half from each country, for 4 weeks of cultural exploration, intelligent dialogue, and fun. By giving students the opportunity to discuss important issues of politics, business, and science, JASC opens them up to new perspectives on these topics. This creates greater understanding between the United States and Japan. Furthermore, the chance to live and travel together for 1 month allows students to learn more about themselves and each other, and this creates deep and lasting friendships. Some of my favorite stories are from our older JASCers who, after 50 years, still visit and contact each other often. In the beginning, JASCers are unsure of what to expect. They are nervous about their paper presentations and worried about meeting new people and language barriers. The transformation into a JASC family is amazing to watch. The students come together, gaining confidence and trust in each other, as well as themselves. They start sharing ideas for how they can make a difference in the world, new projects, plans, and even businesses. It's an incredible process. Each year, I hope that every student learns something new about another culture and something new about themselves that surprises and encourages them to grow. Don't procrastinate. Get your recommendations lined up and apply today. Remember to be open-minded and think not only about what you will get from attending JASC, but what you can share with other JASCers. An experience, skill, perspective, or talent that will make you the right addition to the JASC family.